Happy Thursday. I am happy to be here with all of you. So as you know, this class is called Yoga for Healing, and the definition of healing actually is to eliminate distress. So how do you eliminate distress? Good question. One of the ways that you eliminate distress is you try to figure out ways. Distress means without stress. Distress, almost like dis-ease is without ease. So you eliminate distress, you eliminate dis-ease by bringing a sense of ease into your body, by eliminating that stress from your body and from your mind. And the way that we do that is really by tuning into the fact that right now, right here, in this very moment, everything is okay. So I'm going to invite you just for a moment to close your eyes and place one hand on your heart and place one hand on your belly and start to notice any movement under those hands. Start to notice, if you can, whether or not there's a sense that maybe one hand is moving a little bit more than the other. Maybe you have a little bit of a sense of breathing slightly more into your belly or slightly more into your chest. But all you're doing right now is paying attention to breathing. Nothing else is happening. Everything right now is okay. In this very moment, everything is safe. In this very moment, everything is grounded. So with this same sense of focusing on nothing but your breathing, switch your attention to your sense of hearing and see if you can listen to the sound of the bell until you can no longer hear any sound. Then bring your hands together at your heart center and let your chin start to drop ever so slightly toward that notch at the base of your throat. And perhaps you pause for a moment and you make a short little commitment or promise to yourself that for the entire time that you're on your mat this afternoon, you'll remind yourself by paying attention to your breath and by paying attention to your body that you recognize that you're in the present moment. And at this very moment, everything is okay. Begin to take another big, full, deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to open your eyes and follow your hands with your gaze as you raise your arms up high over your head. Take another nice little sip of air. As you exhale, reach up even higher than you thought you could. And then your right hand is going to come behind you. Your left hand is going to come onto your thigh. Begin to turn your belly, your ribs, and your chest and look over your right shoulder. And then take another little sip of air, reaching your head a little closer to the ceiling. As you exhale, you twist ever so slightly deeper. Inhale, come back to center, raise those arms up. Keep that sense of lengthening through your side body. And then as you exhale, that left hand comes behind you, your right hand comes onto your thigh, you turn your belly, you turn your ribs, you turn your chest, and you look over that left shoulder. Nice breath in, inhale your arms back up really high. And as you exhale, sweep your hands behind you, your fingers are going to point forward. You're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades together. Just squeezing your shoulder blades together builds a little bit of strength in your upper back. It also creates that space in your chest. Take a big breath into that space. Lift your chest up as you exhale, drop your head back. Take another big breath in. And this time as you exhale, perhaps you lift your hips up off the mat, you drop your knees down. And then tuck your belly and release yourself back onto the floor. Sweep your arms up over your head. And then bring your hands onto your shoulders so you're hugging yourself. Start to turn your belly, your ribs, your chest to the right. And then staying here, twist a little bit deeper and let your head turn to the left. And then everything comes back to center. And then you're going to start to twist to the left. Pause for a moment. Twist a little bit deeper. And then you're going to turn your head to the right. And then you're going to come back to center. Sweep your arms up over your head again. And then let them fall to your side, fingers forward. Switch the cross of your legs, whichever was in front. Now the other one is. You squeeze those shoulder blades together again, right? Once you feel that activation in your upper back, you know that you're building strength up there. You're creating space in your chest. Breathe into that space. Look up and let your exhale allow you to lift your hips, drop your knees, opening the whole front of your body, lengthening down your quads, stretching through your hip flexors. And then release yourself back down. Arms come up once again, palms forward. And then you begin to surrender yourself down, releasing your hands, your head, your heart. And you're going to stay here for a moment. On your next exhalation, you're going to try to creep your fingers a little bit further forward. And then both of your hands are going to walk over to the right side of your mat. Your left hand comes on top of your right hand. Notice yourself stretching down that whole left side of your body. And then walk your hands all the way over to the left side of your mat, and that right hand comes on top of your left. And you creep your fingers a little bit further down. And then walk your hands back to center, leaving your arms stretched out in front of you. Take a nice big breath in. And then as you exhale, lift your hands, lift your arms, lift your chest. Point your palms forward. And as you exhale, bring your elbows down into cactus arms. So when you lift yourself from a seated fold with your arms in front of you, you're really using a lot of your core strength. Elbows come together. And then elbows open. Inhale together. Exhale, open. Inhale together. Exhale, open. Arms lift back up and you fold forward once again. Can you perhaps notice at this time you can creep your fingers a tiny little bit further forward than you did the last time? Big breath in. And then as you exhale, lift your hands, lift your arms, lift your chest, palms forward. Bring those elbows down. And then elbows come together. Feel yourself stretching across your mid-back. And then open up that chest. Inhale. And then exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Arms come up. Palms surrender. Head surrenders. Heart surrenders. You creep your fingers out even a little bit further this time. And then leaving those arms stretched out in front of you, try to lift yourself up onto your hands and knees, where you do whatever you have to do so that you land on all fours. And once you're on your hands and knees, try to notice what's happening to your back. Is your back like a little sway back? As you engage your abs, you start to bring a sense of keeping length in your spine so that that lumbar spine doesn't become too concave. So you're keeping those abdominal muscles engaged. And then you're going to take your right foot, stretch it out behind you, press through your heel, create a lot of length in that calf, and then lift that right leg up, extend your left arm. Try to look to your thumb. Big breath in. As you exhale, bring your knee and elbow to meet. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, stretch as you exhale. Stay here. Begin to bend that knee. So your heel's coming toward your butt. Your arm comes out to the side. You roll your thumb down, making room in your shoulder. You reach behind you. Can you find that right foot? And then maybe you begin to lift that right knee up a little bit higher. Once again, stretching your quad, creating length, creating space in your hip flexor. Release that left hand down, stretch your right leg out, point your toes down, and then tap your toes to the mat and lift your leg back up. This is glute strength. Tap your toes and lift. Tap and lift. Hold it here. Look toward your hands, and then step that right foot between your hands. Walk your hands onto your thigh. So you want to have, you can see I have a little angle in my leg. My foot's not too far back, so my leg's not straight. It's stepped out a little bit, so it looks like it has like a little ski slope on there. You roll your shoulders back. You take a big breath in, really anchoring through that right heel. As you exhale, drop yourself down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. So what are we doing here? We're tapping into what's happening in our body. Because when I can pay attention to, wow, I feel a stretch in my hip flexor. Oh, I feel some length in my quad. I'm not thinking about anything else that's going on right now. I'm using my body as a way to stay present. Lift back up. And then drop yourself back down. Release your hands to the floor. Start to shift your hips back. You're going to come onto the heel of that right foot. Fingertips come to the mat. Big breath in. Lift your chest. And then as you exhale, you're creeping your fingers forward. You're surrendering once again your hands, your head, your heart. And you're staying here. Think about your right hip. And see if you can shift that right hip back just a millimeter or two more. That really deepens the length in the back of your leg. And then you're going to flatten that right foot, slide your leg back, and take a moment to begin to bend your elbows, bring your hips back toward your heels, drop your head, come to your Balasana, child's pose. Inhale, lift back up. And as you exhale, come back to your child's pose, seeing if you can get a sense of pushing that mat away from you as you reach your tailbone toward your heels. Trying to create a lot of length in that lower back. Inhale, lift up. And one more time, as you exhale, you drop those hips as far back as possible as you push the floor away from you. And then you're back on all fours. You re-engage your belly, right? You notice like we have a tendency to let our belly and chest drop so we get that sway in our back. You want to keep that belly engaged. We don't want to put any more pressure on that low back. And then your left foot's going to step out behind you. Press your heel to whatever it is that is behind you. And really take a moment to enjoy the sense of space that you're creating in your leg. And noticing your glute, lift that left leg up and extend your right arm out. Here you go with your balance, balance, balance. Keep your gaze at that right thumb. Nice big breath in. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. As you exhale, you bend that left knee. Your right arm comes out to the side. You roll your thumb down, rotating that shoulder. Reach behind you. Can you find that left foot? Once you have that foot, can you lift your knee up a little bit higher? Maybe bring that heel a little closer to your butt. With control, release your hand. Toes come back to the floor. Press your heel back again, and then lift that leg and tap it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. As you exhale, you step that left foot between your hands. You transfer your hands onto that left thigh. You roll your shoulder back. You take a big breath in, and as you exhale, you start to drop down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop down again. Really press through that left heel. So your tailbone's dropping down, your hips are dropping down. My body's not moving forward. I'm coming down. And then once again, lift yourself up and drop yourself back down. I should probably be a little further away so you can see my head, but you don't really have to. Hands to the floor, and then shift your hips back. You come onto the heel of that left foot. You're on your fingertips. You take that big sip of air. And as you exhale, you creep your fingers forward. You surrender your head. You surrender your heart. And you stay here for a few breaths. So through our yoga practice, which is a form of mindfulness, right? This is mindful movement. Mindfulness is a way to reduce stress. It's a way to reduce anxiety. So our mindful movement is using our body as an anchor to the present moment. So if we're holding a pose like we are right now, shift that left hip back a little bit. Just start to notice, where does your mind go? And bring it back. So when you shift that hip, as opposed to thinking, did I get my stimulus check? Maybe you're thinking, holy cow, that hamstring really needed that little adjustment. Release your left foot down, slide your left foot back. Curl your toes under, and very, very, very slowly begin to lift your knees. Lift your hips. So your tailbone's leading the way. Your hips are high, your hips are higher, your hips are higher. And then you straighten your legs and you drop your heels. You're in your down dog. And you take this opportunity to nod your head yes, shake your head no. And then you come back up on your tippy toes really high. What's happening to your toes today? Bend your right knee, let your left heel tap the floor. Come back to your tippy toes. Bend your left knee, let your right heel tap the floor. And back to your tippy toes. And then both of your heels come down, down, down. Do they come down all the way? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not today. And then you take a big breath in up onto your tippy toes. And as you exhale, you rock yourself forward to plank. We're going to try to stay in our plank for 3 more breaths. Big inhale. Exhale 1. Another big breath in. Exhale 2. 1 more big inhale. Exhale 3. Knees to the mat, hips to your heels. You're back in your child's pose. So building strength is another way of alleviating distress, right? If you're worried about something, you're a little bit less worried if you know that your body is strong. Come back up onto your hands and knees. Curl your toes, leading with your tailbone. Lift your hips, my knees are still bent. Lift your hips, my knees are still bent. Lift your hips, my knees are still bent. I drop my head, then I straighten my knees and begin to drop my heels. Come up onto your tippy toes. Rock yourself forward to plank, 3 breaths. Big inhale. Exhale, 1. Another big breath in. Exhale, 2. One more big breath in. This time as you exhale, you're going to try to bend your elbows, lower yourself to chaturanga. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, come to down dog. And then once again, inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, plank, 3 breaths. Big breath in. Exhale, 1. You can always do this on your knees. Big breath in. Exhale, 2. Another big breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Come back to your plank, whatever your plank looks like. And then hips come back to your heels. You return yourself to child pose. This time your arms come behind you. Your palms face upward. Your shoulders relax. You bring that sense of ease to your upper body. You check in with your heart rate. You check in with your breathing. And then stretch your arms out in front of you. Come up onto all fours and just for a moment, sit back on your knees and roll your wrists around a little bit and then go around the other way. And then see if you can take your left hand and holding onto your wrist, bring your fingers as close to your arm as you can and then try to reverse it, go the other way. And then switch. So our wrists do a lot of work in our yoga practice. You want to keep them strong, but you also want to keep them flexible and fluid. So shake your hands out a little bit. And now that our wrists are all loosey-goosey, we'll let them do one more nice heavy lifting. So come up onto all fours. We're going to come into a side plank. So you're going to lift yourself to your plank pose. Again, your plank pose might be on your knees right now. That's totally fine. You come to your plank pose, you roll yourself to the outer edge of your right foot, your left arm comes up into the air. You can always put that left foot out in front of you to help steady you, or you can stack your feet on top of each other. Maybe to challenge your balance, you look up to your left hand, and then look straight ahead, and then maybe you tap your hip and lift, and tap and lift, tap and lift, come back to plank, and then right away, roll yourself to the outer edge of your left foot. Right arm comes up to the air. Look up to your hand, challenge that balance. Then you look straight ahead. You tap and lift, tap and lift, tap and lift. Come back to your plank pose. Drop your knees, hips to your heels. Make a little pillow with your arms. Rest your head and take a couple of nice, well-deserved resting breaths. Walk your hands back. Flop yourself onto one of your hips and swing your legs in front of you. You're going to keep your legs at a pretty much a 45-degree angle. We're going to at first come to Ardha Navasana, which is our half boat pose. You're going to hold on to the back of your thighs. Lean back a little bit. Your belly right away starts to engage. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, left. Exhale, release. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale both legs as you exhale. Relax your shoulders. Lift your chest a little higher. Maybe you point your toes to your face, activating your legs. Release one arm, release the other. Shoulders drop. Can you stay here for 3 breaths? Nice big breath in. Exhale, 1. Another big breath in. Exhale, 2. One more big breath in. Exhale, that's 3. You put your feet on the floor, hold on to your knees, lean back a little bit, tuck your chin, pull your belly in. So you're rounding your spine here. You might notice that if you're somebody who's prone to some back trouble, you might see little flare-ups in back issues. That usually happens in more stressful times. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, lift your chest, look up to the ceiling. Inhale, tuck and round. Exhale, lift up, look up. Inhale, tuck and round. Exhale, lift up, look up. So how do you heal a troubled back? There are many, many ways, but one of the best ways is through strong abdominal muscles. So we're going to try to lean back again, lift up, right? So your chest stays lifted, your toes are pointing. Now we're going to alternate as if we're slamming the brakes on in a car. So you're going to stretch that right leg out and bring it back. Stretch that left leg out and bring it back. Right leg and back. Left leg and back. Now you're going to try to release your arms and see if you can do that. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, left. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hold on to the back of your thighs. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Feet to the floor. Open your knees up. I'll turn around so you can see. Open your knees up. Hands come inside your legs. You're going to hold onto your ankles. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, begin to bring your chin toward your heels. Right? It's as if I'm trying to kiss my toes. Why would you want to do that? I don't know, but think of it as your goal. Take another big sip of air. Lift your chest a little higher. And as you exhale, come a little bit further forward. You can let your head release and try to travel up and down that spine in your mind's eye. And as you continue to bring your chin a little closer to your heels, your mouth a little closer to your toes, can you feel yourself starting at that tailbone, traveling up to that sacrum, creating a little more space? Can you envision your vertebrae? And can you think about creating length and space with each exhale? Lift yourself back up. And then you're going to open your legs nice and wide. So your legs are as wide as they can be. Your toes are pointing up toward the ceiling. I can't see if any of you are doing this, but I'm going to trust that you are. You're going to lift your arms up. Big breath in. And as you exhale, come forward. You're going to try to take your first 3 fingers and hold on to your big toe. And as you're holding on to your big toe, you're going to lift your chest and then gently bring your chest forward as you bend your elbows. So this is another back stretch. It's also maybe quite obviously a good inner thigh stretch. I'm going to stay here for a little while. I'm going to take another big breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to come a little further forward. And then you're going to release your head down. Lift yourself back up. Leave your right hand on your ankle so you can release your toe. Bring your right hand onto your ankle. Then you're going to take that left arm. You're going to reach it up into the air. You're going to look up to that hand. You're going to try to reach up even higher like there's somebody in the ceiling trying to grab your hand. and you're stretching through that whole left side of your body. You're going to take the biggest breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop that left hand on top of your right hand. You're going to turn and look toward your right foot. A lot of side bending, right? So we can create space in our body. The more space we create, the more room for more breath. The more breath, the less anxiety. Leading with your left hand. Lift your left arm up. Place your left hand on your left ankle. Lift your right arm up into the air. Look to that right hand. Reach up as high as you possibly can. Another big breath in. And as you exhale, that right hand lands on top of that left, and you look toward your left foot. Walk both of your hands into the middle of your legs. Creep your fingers out a little bit further, and then release your head down. And maybe you experiment or fool around with, can I get my forearms onto the floor? That might mean moving your hands back a little bit. But that's deepening the stretch in your inner thighs and in your back. Lift yourself up. Bring the soles of your feet together. Hold on to your feet. So your legs are now like butterfly wings. You're going to try to relax those legs. Another big inner thigh stretch, but you're also loosening up through your hip joints, right? This is where we hold a lot of our stress. Big breath in, lift up. And then as you exhale, once again, you're coming forward. I'm not coming down, I'm coming forward. And I'm letting my elbows rest on my calves. And every time I exhale, I kind of send a little message to my inner thighs to perhaps relax just a little bit more. Big breath in lifts you up. As you exhale, you relax those shoulders. Best gift you can give yourself all day is an exhale and a shoulder roll. Knees come back together. Your feet are anchored to the floor. Your arms are going to come straight out. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, come down a couple of inches. Tap your right elbow to the mat and lift back up. Left elbow and lift. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Big breath in. As you exhale, slowly, 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 slowly lower yourself down. Bring your right knee into your chest, so your left foot's still anchored to the floor. Your right knee's coming toward your chest. And then you're stretching that right leg up into the air, pointing your toes toward your face. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, lift your head and shoulders and see if you can hold on to your calf maybe. And bring that leg a little bit closer to your face. Release your head down. Bend your right knee and start to put your right foot on top of your left thigh. So putting your right foot on top of your left thigh, you're going to gently drop that right knee down a little bit. And then you're going to take this left thigh and you're going to bring it in. And you're going to hold on behind your thigh. Or maybe you hold on behind your knee. And you start bringing that left knee closer to your chest. Big stretch for that right hip and glute. While you're here, you can circle that left ankle around in a circle. And then perhaps you go around the other way. And then you come to a still point. You bring that knee in a little bit closer. Whoops, sorry. And then release your foot down. Place both of your feet on the floor. Let both of your knees fall down to the right. Let your head turn to the left. And then come back to center. Now your right foot stays on the mat. You bring your left knee in toward your chest. You stretch your leg up into the air, point your toes to your face. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, lift your head and shoulders, holding onto that calf. You bring that leg closer to your chest. Your face comes closer to your knee. You try to stay here for a few breaths. And then release your head down. Bend that left knee. Let your left foot or ankle rest on top of that right thigh. And then at first you just gently guide that left knee down a little bit. You feel yourself opening up through that left hip. And then you begin to bring your right knee in toward your chest. You can hold on behind your thigh, or you can hold on over your knee, and you guide that right knee closer and closer into your chest. So again, in the moments of quiet, in the moments where we're holding a pose, where does your mind go? Can you bring it back to the anchor of your body? What's happening in that left hip right now? Does my left hip feel different than my right? And then start to circle that right ankle around. And then go around in the opposite direction. Take a nice breath in as you exhale. That knee comes in just a little bit more. Release your foot, release your other foot, and then both of your knees are going to fall down to the left. Your head's going to turn to the right. Couple of nice big breaths here. Bring both of your knees back to center. Bring your knees in toward your chest. Place your hands on your thighs. Toes point to your face. Start to press your hands into your thighs while your thighs press back toward your hands. So this is a big isometric contraction, right? You should feel this firing up your low belly. If you don't, maybe you have to press just a little bit harder into those thighs. And then release that sense of pushing. Bring your arms to your side. Bring your legs up into the air. Slowly lower your right leg all the way down. Slowly lower your left leg all the way down. And then you're going to take your palms, turn them upward. Let your shoulders completely release. And close your eyes. Think back to the very beginning of your practice, where you had a hand on your chest and another hand on your belly. And you were kind of observing where you felt your breath more. Has that changed? Do you feel less distress than you did when you began your practice? And if the answer is yes, what tools in your practice helped to facilitate that lessening of distress? Was it moving your body? Was it feeling strong? Was it paying close attention to your breath? Maybe it was all of the above. Maybe it was none of the above. But spend a moment just kind of checking in with how your yoga practice can be a tool for healing, a tool to relieve distress. And then, as I have been doing with every practice throughout this challenged time, we will end by offering metta or loving kindness to all beings everywhere by silently repeating, may all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be joyful. May we all be free from suffering. Take another nice, big, full breath in. And use your exhale to begin to generate whatever movement you need to start to bring yourself back to a seated position. And once you are upright, place your hands on your knees again, gently pressing into your knees. Lift up through those side ribs. Inhale your shoulders up to your ears. Hold it just for a moment. And your exhale relaxes those shoulder blades down your back. Bring your hands together at your heart center. As with every practice, take from today whatever serves you for your highest learning and your highest good, and leave behind the rest. Take one more nice, big, full breath in. And as you exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me this afternoon. So we had a little technical glitch at the beginning, but